Alright, here we are with another one of these metalworking videos. A lot of thanks to Ron Nada for sharing something about doing wire edges. He had a nice dolly that was machined out. What I'm looking for. He had something like this that was actually machined out a notch, and me being sort of cheap and easy, took the easy way out, and I had a square block of steel and I had a couple pieces of angle iron. So rather than milling something out to that shape, I just welded pieces of angle onto the block, and then I shaped it, this for long straight and then this for getting into the corners when you're doing wire edges. I'll show you how this works. The other thing I'm going to use is a Martin body hammer. I like using this face to start it, and I'm going to be using my tenner's hammer. The first thing I did was to bend this edge up 90 degrees on the sheet metal brake. There's lots of ways you could do this. You could do this with a pair of tongs. You could beat it over the end of a nice steel bench. You could clamp it between a couple pieces of angle iron and hammer it over. Any way to get that 90 degree, there's probably 100 ways to do that. The length of this should be 2.5 times the diameter of your rod you're going to put in, or your wire. And I'll show you how this works, all by hand. That's the whole idea of this particular video, is to show you how to do this by hand. Actually works better on a steel bench where you've got something to slide across. But this will work. You're going to use this to hold right up against your steel rod, your wire, and you're going to start it by just sliding. Put your hammer on an angle and just sliding it across the table so that you're knocking this over. So your angle is maintained the whole time while you're doing this. So you come back again for a second pass and just slide it right over it. When you get to this point, now you're still using your dolly to hold this in. You can come all the way over to flat. And I'd like to go ahead and capture the end of the wire just a little bit. So that end's captured. You can come down here, you can do the same thing. Same thing back here, work it nice and slow. Once you get to this point, now you've got your wire captured. You've got your wire captured in there. Alright. That'll hold it for you nicely. And now you can just continue that sliding the hammer across the table. Work your way slowly across there, increase your angle as you come across. You're not hitting down on it yet. You're just sliding the hammer across so that it kind of wipes that piece over to about that much of an angle. And now you can start hitting down on it. So you work your way down. Alright. Now you can start angling over a little bit more, so you're going to actually capture your wire. And at this point, you're going farther than this is deep, so you're going to have to stay ahead of it with your dolly just a little bit. Okay. Now, you're up to this point, and you can start hammering in like this, and again, you're being careful. You're actually catching the table and your metal at the same time, because you don't want to be hitting out here. By letting it hit the table, you're stopping it before it hits your piece of flat part of the metal that you're trying to protect. Okay? So now we're at that point. Okay? How well you can see how far that's turned over. The next part, if you want to try to protect the piece that you're working with here, you can put a sacrificial piece of metal up here. And now I'm going to switch to my tender's hammer, and I'm going to use the set down edge, and I'm just going to slowly work across that. Now you're tucking your wire, your piece all the way around the wire. Hopefully you can see that. That didn't take long to do, and now you've got a nice wire edge tucked, and your outside actually rounds over pretty nicely. You would think that 90-degree bend that you did in there would create a square edge, but it really doesn't. And you can dress it up. You can take your hammer, and actually, if it's a little too square for you, you can dress the edge up. Just working very slowly, very easily, so you don't put dents in it. But there's an easy way to do a wire edge completely with hand tools. No turning machines necessary.